Hey all, I want to talk to you about a subject that's very important to me, and I can speak of a lot of experience with it. And that subject is uh, treatment of animals in regards to uh, having them as pets and having them as food source, and also as choosing not to have them as food source. I'm going to say that I have honestly lived half my life deliberately choosing to be vegetarian and or vegan. I was raised in a family of omnivores, a very good diet. My mother was a scratch cook, so that means basically she would make food from the raw ingredients. um, she didn't have to buy a cake mix. She could make it from scratch. She'd throw the sugar, the cocoa, the vanilla, the whatever. She's a great cook. And our meals for like dinner, we sat around at a table, and we always had to eat our vegetables. It would always be like a meat, a like a bread or a grain or carb, and always the vegetables. Always the vegetables. And we had a multivitamin in the morning. We had milk in our cereal. You know, and as a child, I was always very healthy and vigorous, never any health problems. Always playing in the woods. Around around 15, I went purposely vegetarian, and I do believe there's a lot of health benefits to eating less meat. Definitely. I believe there's a lot of health benefits with getting good protein, especially if you get it from a vegetable source like the notorious soy, or spinach like Popeye, or broccoli even. Who knew? It's interesting because the protein content doesn't really seem to show up on the labels. Like maybe it's because when the vegetables are raw. Like I don't know, or maybe I don't know how that all works. But apparently, there's a lot of protein in those things, even compared to like the beefy beef. You know. Anyway, so what I really wanted to get into was the subject of animal slaughter, right? And I was, you think about, all right, well, people are eating meat, and sometimes nowadays I eat meat, all right? Um, I could tell you, these little turkeys here, I don't really know if I want to eat them. Kind of like them. If any of them turns out really mean, which none of these will, who knows? But uh, who knows? It may be the natural way of things. But I think about things like uh, well, when I go to the store, I don't. Sometimes I get a turkey sandwich, and I'm like, see, I'll one day I'll have all these turkey, and it'll just be the natural way, and maybe they die naturally at like a few years. So once they get just a few months under that few years, maybe there's a way to kind of put them out of their misery and still eat them, and they never get to that really old, decrepit state. I don't know. I don't know. Or maybe I'll be such a great farmer, it'll just be vegetables all over the place, and I'll never even have to think about eating animals, and they'll just be animals all over the place. I don't know. But anyway, those are my thoughts on that. Sometimes I avoid the turkey at the store. I'm like, I don't want to eat turkey anymore. I don't know. See, that's where I am with my vegetarianism right nowadays. All right, so let's dig into this subject of animal slaughters, right? So if you're going to eat animals, it's obviously best to it's like gardening. It's obviously best to grow your own, right? And But if you don't grow your own, get it from a good source. And if you have to just get the common general route, you know, do what you got to do, I guess. Uh, but anyway, uh, I think about the different methods to kill animals, right? Is there a better way? And they talk about the expense of it. We can't afford to shoot bullets into all of them. It's too expensive. We gotta knock them in the head real hard and cut their throat, or just straight up cut their throat, or and straight up, I thought even like a guillotine could be a humane way if it was like a guillotine that happened like chop like right when they're eating. So they're like totally distracted. They're just like, oh man, this is a really good meal. Like, bam, and they don't even. But then you wonder if the head feels things, and there's got to be a shocking brief moment of pain, right, in the neck. There's got to be a shock at some point, especially if the brain stays awake for a little bit. Um, so really, that would be maybe a step better than the current practices of just, I don't know. I don't like the kosher and halal where they just slit their throat and they're kicking around and stuff. I don't. I mean, you would think there'd be a way to anesthetize them. That's what I thought about. I think the key is anesthetizing them, as in making them fall asleep. Like you think about putting our animals to sleep, like our cats and our dogs and stuff. And we take them to the vet and they give them a needle and they go to sleep. And then they give them the other needle and they pass away. They die. Right? Well, why don't we is there something that about that shot that would carry over into the meat? So if you ate the meat after like the animal had the shot, that you would die, or the other thing, why can't we just give them a shot, give them a good dose so they're totally asleep, and then cut them. Why not? Instead of having them go herded into these terrifying situations. uh why don't they dose them once they what get them before they get them even loaded up, so they're really docile as they load up into the van, and you know I mean, if they're not going to kill them on the farm and ship them in refrigerated trucks, if they're going to ship them live, and you know and I thought about, it doesn't have to be like a injection, right, at the vet. Like it could be something in their food, you know uh and it could be a gas. Like, you think about the dentist, right? It could be like some laughing gas, right? You could like straight up give them some laughing gas. They'll be ha 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 ha, bam, you got a mouthful of food, got some laughing gas going, bam, they don't even see it coming. Take the little head, if it's alive for a while, stick it somewhere, and somewhere nice with a view. I don't know. you know, you know. These are my thoughts on it. I think there's got to be a way. I mean, if we're not just gonna shoot them, bam, instantly, boom, because we supposedly can't afford the bullets or whatever, we gotta massively terrify them in these slaughterhouses, and then you know, pissing shit everywhere, and you know what I'm talking about, people. It's the fucking truth of it. You know it. You know it. You know it. So, you know, you could do some really natural stuff. You could put some really good edible cannabis in there for their last meal. They're like, oh, and they don't even see it coming. You know, something like that. probably best to put them asleep. You know, probably best to have a nice calm environment, low lighting. Not like these hospital sterile like bam lights. You know what I'm talking about. Some nice warm spectrum light, not some cool harsh light. All right, I gotta corral these guys. It's a very important topic. So hope you all are having an awesome day, night. Take care.